wanted to give you an update on another new item that we're going to be using for the 2022-2023 school year. Many of you are familiar with Blocksy. We've been using it for about 2 years now. We have actually ended our contract with Blocksy and we're moving over to another company called GoGuardian. GoGuardian is the leader in the field. And if you don't know what Blocksy or GoGuardian are, they are monitoring software for our Chromebooks where teachers can really limit what students are able to do on their computers, as well as it helps you with your younger students push out activities and discuss and point to things on the page in a whole group setting as opposed to having to go out to the computer. So I'm going to actually bring you into GoGuardian and we're going to take a quick little look around. As always, I'm going to make more in-depth videos about different things inside of GoGuardian, but I kind of just want to give you a little overview. Hold on. So once you get into GoGuardian for Teachers, this is going to be your startup page. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to create your classes. Right now, you have the option to import for Google Classroom, or you can manually add a class. If you're manually adding a class, you would just take the students' last names and put them in, and it would build the class for you. It gives you a lot of freedom in the fact that you can create lots of different classes. So if you're working the 21st century program after school and have a specific group of kids, you can create a class just for that after school activity. So you're not beholden to what your schedule says in X2, which I really like. So I just did a manual class right now. And when you set this up, you actually you have the option to change the amount of minutes that the class time is. And actually, when you set it up, it prompts you that if you have a very regular schedule, you could just calendar schedule this out, that it's going to start every day at certain times and it's going to end every day at certain times. You're going to see that calendar over here. You'll get that prompting when you set it up. I also really want to point this out because I love this. There were a lot of times that I would plan my lesson around a website and then figure out that for the kiddos, the website was blocked. This is going to check that ahead of time for you. So if you are planning ahead of time and you find out that it was blocked, you'd be able to put in a help desk ticket to see if it would be able to be unblocked or what's the best way for the students to access that. So I really like that. So here I can turn the chat on or off. The chat allows me to speak to the students, not the students to speak to each other. And I can speak to a student individually, or I can speak to the whole class. So right now I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to start a class. So you're going to see what it looks like on the inside. And I have one student in my class right now, and I've got the Chromebook open right next to me. So it takes a couple seconds to load. And what you're going to end up seeing is you're going to end up seeing your 30 tiles going across. You can decide how big or how small those tiles are here. Actually, right here, you are able to create student groups. So if you have some intervention groups or some reading groups for your reading, you'd be able to make different groups and then shoot things out to different students, which would be awesome. You can also sort in different ways: first name, last name, online, offline. So from the front, this is a quick menu from the front. I'm able to do a lot of things just by looking at the icon individually to students. So I'm able to see that the student is on YouTube, that they have Orbit Note open, that they have Google Drive open, and that they have our LPSD page open. I could close any of these. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to close this tab, and that tab is closed for that student. I can also come up here and I can lock student's device. And when I lock a student's device, it allows me to do a screen message. So I can do eyes up front, and I can lock devices, and you're going to see the student's device is locked, and on their actual Chromebook, it says browsing is disabled, and it won't allow them to actually open any new tabs. What is this good for? This is great for when you're doing some whole group instruction or students are working together with a partner and they're not supposed to be on their computer right now. They might need it as part of the lesson, but they do not need it right now. So you're able to actually stop them from using it, but the computer's still able to be used. So I'd be able okay, we're moving on, unlock student's device. The student's device is unlocked. So when I come in here and I click, I'm able to see everything just a little bit deeper. I'm able to see all of these websites that they have open, and I'm able to close them. I'm able to see any chat. I have chat is currently off, but I could at any point put it back on and then send them a chat. And then down here, I've got a couple of options. I can exclude a student. And all that means is that they're part of your everyday class, but maybe they're absent and maybe they're using the Chromebook at home and you just don't want to see it for right now. So you can exclude them just from your view for right now. You can open a new tab. So you can push out a tab for them. So let's say I'm working with littles and they've done an amazing job in class today and I want to give them the opportunity to do a little PBS Kids. I could actually go ahead and open it, and on every student's computer, it would open the PBS Kids for them to be able to play. So it's really, really, really good for my pre-K, K1, 2, that it's going to save time for the teacher. There's that lock device again that just puts up whatever message you want. Screenshot, if a student is doing something inappropriate or if a student's doing something wonderful, you can take a screenshot and you have that for later. And annotate is very interesting. Annotate allows you to point to things on a page. I wish it allowed you to circle stuff, but it doesn't. But it actually puts a little pointer. So for executive functioning, it shows students where they should be looking. So that is going to be from a general. So now I have up here that we have timelines. This is one of my favorite things about GoGuardian. It's going to take a couple seconds to upload. But what it is, and if I had more students, all those students would be going down. I actually see a visual timeline of where students are, what they're spending their time on, how much time they're spending. I can click within it. My favorite part of this, though, is that this timeline is available after I end a session. So now if I can say, I really felt like that kid was off task, but I never got over to check on him, or he was working with a tutor and I'd love to see what he was doing with the tutor, you're able to access your timeline after the fact. And after I end a session, it actually sends me right here an email and brings me back to my session. So I'm able to do that. Screenshot's going to show me any screenshots that I have from this session, and then present to the class is really cool. I'm able to kind of take over their computers and do a full presentation. So I got camera and microphone. We can present the screen. We could record it if we wanted to, and we can lock students' screens to the presentation. So they would only be able to be on that specific tab while you were doing that. You also have up here some different things. Here's the chat. Off tasks alerts. It's very interesting. If you turn on off tasks alerts, it's going to ask you what subject you're working on. So if you said, like, I was working on English, it is going to try to recognize if students are on pages that don't have to do with English, and you're going to get alerts that students are off task. And then scenes are very interesting, and scenes are over here. And what you can do is you can create specific rules for specific sessions and specific classes. Allowed websites lists or block websites lists. So you could block YouTube for whatever time that you're using it, and you don't have to use that scene every day. Or over here, maybe you're doing a research project and you actually have all of your websites loaded and you push out the scene during that research. It's going to make it that those kids can only go to those websites. I'm going to be doing more reports on that. Again, we've got the calendar over here to take a deeper look of my test sessions, and you are going to be able to run some student reports afterwards. That gives you just a broad view of GoGuardian. I'm going to be giving you, again, more updates as I unpack different pieces to show you how you would use that in class. But that is basically it. I lost my train of thought there for a second. So check out the website for more updates. Please feel free to reach out if you need anything. And I think this is going to be an invaluable tool in your classroom. I hope this helps. Bye.